Porsche, with over 12,000 employees in 2008, is the smallest German automobile builder, but the largest sports car specialist in the world. The company was founded in December 1930, when Dr. Ferdinand Porsche, with 12 close associates, established an office in Stuttgart for design and consultation on engines and vehicles. By 1932, Porsche's design office had developed the torsion bar suspension element that is still in use in automobiles around the world. In 1934, the Porsche company was commissioned by the Manufacturers Association to design a utilitarian car of normal dimensions, but relatively low weight, to be achieved by new basic measures. Prototypes of this car were on the road by the end of 1935, but World War, I postponed mass production of the vehicle. After World War, Dr. Porsche, commissioned to build the most modern Formula race car in the world. This car started to win international road races by 1948, and based on this car design, Porsche started building the 356 sports car and rented production space in Stuttgart for sales through Volkswagen's international network of dealers and importers. In the 1970s, internal car developments included the Porsche 928 with the first all-aluminum V8 engine. That started production in 1977, and the Porsche 924, targeted as an introductory model below the 911 model. And the 924 was originally developed for the Volkswagen, but they lost interest after the 1973 energy crisis. Porsche sold the car under its own name, and with sales of 100,000 units in only 5 years, it became the most successful Porsche of all time. Porsche continued its tradition of active involvement in racing competition. Dr. Ferry Porsche, chairman and son of the company's founder, claimed competition entries in racing and rallying technology for our production cars. Since 1972, the company's technical development has been located in a large ride center outside of Weissach, a small town about 20 kilometers from Stuttgart. To maintain its technology leadership, Porsche has invested at Weissach in a minimum scale of expensive capacity, including a test track, crash center, wind tunnel, motor engine test facility, and pollution test equipment. A large number of designers, engineers, technicians, and mechanics are employed to support continual innovation. With its extensive commitment to advanced technology development and its small production base, Porsche spent 15% of its car sales revenue on ride, a much higher figure than the 6% typically spent by other car companies. The large investment in technology development capabilities required that Porsche sell some of its equipment, design, and engineering capabilities to other car companies. Porsche still assembles a large proportion of its cars by hand on the same site where company patriarch Ferdinand Porsche built and delivered the Volkswagen Beetle in 1937. There have been modifications, of course, especially since 1991, when Wiedeking was hired to oversee production and materials management. One shocker: he forced the company to choke down nationalist and institutional pride and bring in Japanese consultants to teach Porsche not only how to build cars better, but also how to build better cars. Porsche's Weissach Art Center is responsible not only for Porsche's own auto technology and innovation, but also additional profits from work it does for others. Weissach developed, for instance, a cockpit for the Airbus jetliner, a minivan for General Motors, the guttural sound of modern Harley, Davidson motorcycle engines and their low-emission performances. Restructuring in the late 1990s was painful as Porsche's cut 25% of its workers. And though much handwork remains, Porsche has halved the worker hours necessary to build the 911 Carrera and relies more on Japanese style, just-in-time parts delivery. About 1/3 to total parts is the same on Boxster and 911 Carrera, and the Boxster gets its upgraded handling and performance from 911 Carrera parts. In 1992, Porsche was selling 3 dramatically dissimilar models. Rear engine, 6-cylinder, air, cooled 911. Front engine, 8 water, cooled 928. Front engine water, cooled V6 968. Front engine water, cooled V6 968. Literally not one common part. Incredible. Not even the lock system, says Manfred Iassi, financial spokesman. As of 2009, Porsche sold only 5 vehicles: Boxster, 911 Carrera, Cayenne, Cayman, and Panamera. The 4 automobiles are 6-cylinder, high performance, high price sports cars in an industry bent on more and more segments. This is an anomalous approach. However, Porsche is an expert at bringing out ever more desirable iterations, raising prices for the upgraded versions and earning much higher profits. The enhanced models do not cost much more to manufacture than the base models. Boxster made its debut late in 1996. Its $41,000 price, putting a new Porsche within reach of more buyers than can afford a $66,000 and can afford a $66,000 Carrera. The Boxsters joined the lineup in 1999, starting at around $49,000. Its appeal is chiefly a bigger engine. At the same time, the standard 2000 Boxster received enhancements that could support a price increase. Its engine grows to 2.7 liters from 2.5, and horsepower rises to 2.14 from 214, from 214, from 204. In 2002, Porsche began selling Cayenne, which it developed in collaboration with Volkswagen. Porsche sells the Cayenne for around $60,000. And Volvo sells its version, the Touareg, for around $35,000. The two companies share the development costs, and Volvo manufactures both vehicles. This allows Porsche to get some of the development costs paid by Volvo, and Porsche does not have to invest in more factory capacity to build the vehicle. Porsche introduced its first 4-door sedan in 2009 when it offered the Panamera. Mercedes-Benz and Maserati are the Panamera's primary rivals, catering to the high performance 4-door sports sedan market, and the Porsche hopes to take some of this market share. Porsche got into this challenging situation when it took on $12.02 billion of debt, acquiring its 50.8 in Volkswagen with its sights on taking over Volkswagen. Three things prevented Porsche from this goal. First, acquiring 50.8% of Volkswagen tripled Porsche's debt. Second, the credit crisis beginning in 2007 made it more difficult and expensive to borrow money. Third, Porsche was blocked by the German government from acquiring a larger share of Volkswagen so it could access its cash reserves. The most challenging aspect for Porsche is its debt, which Porsche wants to reduce by at least $5 billion. Qatar and Abu Dhabi were seen as top candidates to loan the money. However, Mr. Who owns 10? Who owns 10 of Porsche? Says he opposes selling a stake in Porsche to an outside investor. Instead, Volkswagen is likely to buy Porsche's car business.